So continuing on my journey to get ready for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I will be reviewing the Sonic franchise, and now we are up to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So let's get into the review. Now right off the bat, I just have to point out, this is a 10 times better movie than Sonic, like the first one. Now I know that's very hard to say considering I gave the first one a 10 out of 10, but like this movie just ups the ante with not only nods to, of course, the Sonic video games, but also great, awesome character development with newcomers to the cast. And I was very surprised when they added the YouTuber Preston to the cast. Like, I was very surprised. I was in the theater pointing to the screen. Ooh, wait, is that Preston? You know, I never really grew up with his channel or ever watched it, but I knew who he was. But that's just like light work to how awesome this movie really is. Jim Carrey is back once again as Eggman and is doing better than ever, you know, and this was actually supposed to be his last time acting and last time as Eggman, you know, because Jim Carrey said in an interview after the movie that this was his last time, and I was so afraid. I was so sad, like going into the movie being like, this is the last time I'll get to see Jim Carrey. I was crying, but thankfully he returns, and I think he'll continue to return, and no way this is the last time we see him. Maybe it is in the franchise of Sonic, but this is not the last time we see him in general for cinema. But yeah, he just brings it, everything he's got to this role, and this time he goes completely bald, really inhabiting the real role of Eggman, because Eggman is bald with a big mustache, and in the first one he didn't really have a big mustache, or he wasn't bald, but this time around he's been trapped in the mushroom planet for like probably a year because of the awesome final battle that I completely forgot to talk about in my Sonic Part 1 review. But yeah, that entire sequence of him just counting the days and trying to get out of the mushroom planet was awesome, and then him getting introduced to Knuckles, which Idris Elba is an amazing like new castmate, you know, he plays Knuckles, and honestly they did the animation for Knuckles awesomely, and also the story of Knuckles, you know, being the last of his tribe is really awesome, and the power that his character has against Sonic, the fact that he's able to one-up Sonic so easily with not only his speed but also like his knuckles. He's able to break human hands, as seen with his scene with Dr. Stone, you know, with Mr. Stone, with Agent Stone, and yeah, he was a great addition to the cast. I was waiting to see what Knuckles adaptation would be live action, especially how awesome they did with Sonic, you know, and I got my answer. They one-upped Sonic, you know. And also we have the introduction of Randall, who is a friend of Donut Lord, and I'm gonna talk about Donut Lord now. His character development in this movie is done so well, and he is willing, like it's kind of like a Home Alone type situation, except he doesn't leave Sonic home alone by accident. He like leaves for a wedding with the character of Randall and his wife, and that just chaos ensues from there. Eggman comes back and with the help of Knuckles beats the hell out of Sonic after Sonic really like destroys the house and tries to clean it because he thinks his parents are coming home. But yeah, now I want to talk about the story. The story, like I said, like early on in the video, is so much better and miles of an improvement from the story of Sonic the Hedgehog Part 1, while also adding like more to the franchise that really relates to the video game, you know? And the fight scenes, the action scenes are awesome in this movie, with each and every action scene becoming better and better as the movie goes on. You go from like a really good fight scene to the best fight scene of the franchise, you know? And I'm very happy to say that, you know? I really do like this movie 10 times better than the first one. I know it's very early to rate it right now, but I'm just gonna flat out say it. You already know it's a 10 out of 10. Most likely in this review franchise of Sonic, you'll never hear me say it's a 9 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10 or anything less than a 10 out of 10, because it is just fully 10 out of 10 status, you know? With the character development, with the actors acting their hearts out, man. There are such great actors in this movie. The story is a great improvement and great continuation. The action sequences blow you away with every little thing that happens. The introduction of Knuckles to the franchise, and also Tails. Tails is an amazing character that I was wondering how they'd interpret her character into the story, and I got my answer. We had a lot of fun scenes with her, like a dance battle between people at a bar with her and Sonic versus this like impressive dancer. That scene was very fun. The overall final battle with like Sonic and Knuckles teaming up eventually and defeating Eggman was amazing. Like the big robot that Eggman had in the finale of this movie was honestly so awesome. That was the closest thing we've ever gotten to like seeing fully the video game version of Eggman, because like he was shaped like an egg, he had a big mustache, the goggles, the bald head, you know. And honestly, the way like Jim Carrey's character Eggman like fell out of his robot, I thought he he was dead. I was like, oh, so that's how they're gonna get rid of him. This movie should have been PG-13 if they're gonna kill off characters like that. But of course, they left his character open to return in the third one if Jim Carrey wanted to, because under Jim Carrey's words, he said, like, the only way I'd ever return is if, like, a golden script from the angels above came down and told him that the people need to see this movie, then he'd return. But otherwise, he was done. But I guess the people needed to see Sonic 3 because that's all it took for him to return. But yeah, it was like a 2-year complete break, but I don't think he's coming back now. Like, after Sonic 3, he's probably done. But yeah, Jim Carrey really just brought everything he had into this movie, and the robots in this movie really are very, like, cool add-ons to the action sequences, like, mainly just the acting sequences, and it was awesome to see Knuckles just, like, destroy every single one, but then, like, realizing, oh, there's stairs, like, they're forming to become a flight of stairs, so he kept just destroying one by one, and then, like, eventually it was like, oh, there's stairs. Well, thank you. But yeah, I already said it's a 10 out of 10. It's a really fun movie. I enjoyed my time with it in theaters, and this time, don't worry, I did not get a stupid plushie, because as you will know, if you saw my previous video, I did buy a Shadow plushie and thought it was Sonic because I was an idiot, but I learned from my mistakes, and yeah, now I know way more about Sonic than I have in previous years because I've done a lot of research. I've seen gameplays of it, and I've seen the movies, of course. But yeah, this is just a masterpiece of a movie, It's very hard to find a perfect trilogy. It's very, very hard to do that, and if you look at Sonic from that, like, point, you'll say this is the perfect trilogy. Obviously, it won't be a trilogy for long because I was under the impression that Sonic 3 would be the last one, but no, they're making a Sonic 4, which, hey, I'm not mad about at all. I was actually devastated when they'd say, oh, this was the last one, but of course, they'd say that before they filmed and wrote the script for Sonic 3, so leaving, like, stuff open, but unfortunately, Jim Carrey looks like he's not returning for that. But that's really all I have to say about Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in this review. It's amazing, it's a masterpiece of a film, and yeah, bye guys.